mate.
I will say this about investing. Everything you do learn is cumulative. What I learned at 20 is useful.
Welcome to another episode of Equity Mates, where we will help you learn to invest in 15 minutes or less. We break down the world of investing from beginning to dividend so that you can hopefully make some returns. My name is Bryce, and as always, I'm joined by my equity buddy, Ren. How are you going, bro?
I'm very good, Bryce. How are you?
Mate, we've been through the wars to get this episode up.
Oh, we have.
Oh god, we've really battled away with technology on this one, but thankfully we've found a solution to bring what we hope is going to be a cracker of an ep. So
yeah, technology tried to hold us down, but we have beaten it. We've beaten Skype today.
We have beaten Skype today. So today, Ren, we are going to have a discussion about our ASX Sharemarket Game. We started that, almost 2 weeks ago now, I think. And we haven't either of us haven't updated each other on it, actually, on how we've been performing. So I have no idea how you're going. I have your stocks in my watch list, but I haven't really been paying too much attention because they're kind of rubbish. But nah, jokes. So I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, so am I. To be honest, I was having a shocking game, but today I've sort of come good a little bit. So we'll be talking on a high note for me.
Oh, great! I'm excited to hear. So, Ren, I just thought before we start, though, for anyone who's just joined the show for the first time, and also to remind all of our awesome listeners that are out there and joining us again, that we do have some very exciting news, and that is that we are going to be doing our first live shows. Well, not necessarily shows, but we're going to be live in Sydney and Melbourne in September on behalf of BetaShares and General Assembly, which we're pretty pumped about, Ren.
Yeah, very pumped about it. We're stepping out from behind the mic and going to be talking all things finance, in person, live, on stage. Well, I don't know if there'll be a stage, but
lectern, whatever.
Should be pretty good.
Yeah.
Come listen to some of the rambling that you have known so well over the podcast in person.
Yeah, you can watch Ren do it live. So, Ren, we're actually coming down to Melbourne first, your hometown. So everyone's going to be getting around you, which is going to be exciting. We're coming down to Melbourne on Wednesday, the 5th of September, from 6 until 8 p.m. And as I said, this is with BetaShares, who are one of Australia's largest provider of ETFs. And the night is called Finance Goals, Make Your Money Grow With You. And as you said, Ren, we're going to be discussing everything from investing 101, breaking it down so that you can build it back up again. We're going to be doing what the hell are ETFs, the essentials about exchange traded funds, and some 3 investment ideas for the 21st century, how to invest in the new economy, looking at things like global technology, cybersecurity, and ethical warriors. So that's going to be run by the BetaShares ETF founder, Elon, and then you and I, Ren, will be coming on to have a chat about all things Equity Mates and a bit about our journey. So jump online and grab some tickets if you want to come along. That's on Wednesday the 5th and in Sydney on the 13th, the following week, Thursday the 13th. So we're keen, Ren. Can't wait.
Yeah, and the best thing about it all is it's free. So make sure you grab some free tickets.
Free tickets. And for some lucky listeners out there, we will be handing out Equity Mates merchandise literally off our own backs because we only have 2 Equity Mates t-shirts to give away. So one in Sydney, one in Melbourne. We'll walk away shirtless.
Yeah. But it'll be worth it.
All right, Ren. Well, unless you have any other housekeeping, let's crack into the ASX Sharemarket Game. Do you have anything else to add?
No, that's it. Let's talk stocks.
Great. Well, as I said at the start, we've been doing this ASX Sharemarket Game for about 2 weeks now. For those of you who don't know, it is a game run by the Australian Securities Exchange, Stock Exchange, and you get $50,000 worth of fake money to play with, and you get to trade stocks on the ASX. I think it's the top 200 stocks. Just like you would trade in real life, it emulates the ASX daily movements and price movements. So Ren and I have decided to put ourselves up against each other and put some strategies to the test. And the last 2 episodes, we revealed what those strategies were. So how are your strategies going, Ren?
To be honest, pretty poor.
Okay, so remind us what stocks you had.
I started with 4 stocks and I put $10,000 into each. They were NexTDC, WorleyParsons, Cleanaway, and Wesfarmers.
Yeah.
I put a 5% stop loss on all 4 of them, and unfortunately, I've been stopped out of 2 of them. So
Wow, okay.
not a good start. 50%. So I'm out of NexTDC and WorleyParsons. So I lost about 5% on each of those. So
Why did you choose 5% as your stop loss on both of those?
I would honestly like to give you a good reason, but there really isn't one. Yeah, it just seemed like a good stop loss. I know that you're doing your day trading stuff and looking at average daily movement or whatever you're looking at, but not as scientific on my side. So then the other two stocks that I'm still holding. Cleanaway it actually reported today. It had a very nice report and it's up. So I'm up $240 on Cleanaway. And for those playing along at home, Cleanaway reported an 18% increase in revenue and a 42% increase in net profit. This year was meant to be the worst year ever for the waste and recycling industry, and yet somehow Cleanaway has come through unscathed. So good on them, I guess.
Why the worst year for the waste industry?
So some people would have heard about China's national sword policy, where they stopped taking any recycling. So it has just cratered the recyclable commodities market, like worse than GFC levels. For example, there was some plastic that you used to get $500 a ton for. Now you're lucky to get $100 a ton if you can even move it. Wow. Cardboard, the price is halved. Yeah, it's a brutal market out there, and yet somehow Cleanaway have come through with a higher revenue number and a better profit percentage, a 42% increase in net profit. So, held them. They're $240 up for me. And then Wesfarmers, I'm up about $100, and Wesfarmers reported recently as well. Not nearly as good as Cleanaway, but Wesfarmers owns Coles, owns Bunnings, owns Kmart, owns Target. Bit of a slower grower. Revenue up 3%. Net profit actually was down, but if you exclude one-off items, which is mainly their Bunnings UK and Ireland failure, their net profit's about 5% up.
But their failure was quite large.
Their failure was quite large. But if you want to talk about a company that isn't failing, let's talk about Bunnings Australia and New Zealand. Pretty big already, but killing it still. Revenue up 9% and EBIT, so earnings before interest and tax, up 12%. So,
wow.
A bloody good business, the old the old Bunnings. So at this point, I've been stopped out of 2 companies. I'm up on the other 2 that I'm holding. And recently I bought some of my old favourite A2 milk.
Interesting.
And as always, that company has come through for me, and I'm up $550 in about a week in A2 milk.
Well, they reported almost 120% increase in profit, didn't they? Yeah,
so revenue up 68%, net profit up 116%.
Yeah, like, whoa.
Yeah. So
interesting.
Once again, the lesson for me is I should have just put all my money in A2 milk.
Oh, when you were saying at the start, we've got you on air saying stay away.
Yeah, well, they fell down into the $9 range, and then they were deepening their relationship with China. They were about to report, so I thought, let's give it a crack.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking I might sell it sooner rather than later, or at least increase my stop loss. But that's all a long way of saying I'm actually overall down $50.
Oh, damn. And so what is your cash position?
So at this stage, I have about 20,000 in cash and then about 30,000 in those 3 shares.
And do you have any strategy for that 20,000 going forward?
Maybe. I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, really? Well, tell our listeners, not me.
No, I wish I did have more of a strategy, but I'm just going to wait and see if anything takes my fancy. Been pretty slammed at work, but gonna have a good look over the weekend and see what I can see.
Nice. Fair call. So you're down 50 overall.
Yeah, down 50 overall.
Still a long way to go, though.
That's it. All right. How are you going?
So I am going okay. I have traded in and out of a lot more companies than I thought I would at this stage, but that's because I have had reasonable success doing this momentum buy sort of strategy and really rolling with what I think are going to be good reporting companies, but primarily based on historical reporting performance, A2 Milk being one of them. And so I've been sort of buying in and out. I'm disappointed that I got stopped out of Cleanaway. So I actually don't own them anymore. I got stopped out very early with them, but that was at a profit because I had a sort of like a rising stop loss for them. And unfortunately, was stopped out of WiseTech, which was one of the companies that I mentioned right at the start, an information technology company, and I was stopped out of them 2 days ago, and they reported today and we're up 30%. So that's
brutal.
I know. That's a lesson for both of us, friend, is to really, keep an eye on your stops and really try and figure out that daily volatile swing, because it happened to us in this game and it happened to us in the stock get trading game with stake as well. The stops kill us before the massive increase in price. So learnt from that. I'm also in A2 Milk. Didn't have as much success as you because I actually bought in pre-market this morning. So my buy-in price was actually a lot higher than I would have liked, but so far so good. I'm still in AFI, which is the listed investment company in financials and whatnot. I'm still in Afterpay, which is just absolutely smashing it for me. I've made almost 3,500 profit on them.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's great.
They're just killing it. I bought ASX just before they announced because I thought that they would have a pretty good report, which they did, and it kind of shot up on the day of reporting, and now I'm actually down $268. So my stop loss hasn't kicked in with them, but I'm thinking about getting rid of them because they're on sort of like a downward trajectory at the moment. I jumped in on CSL before they reported. I got in at $202 for them. Mind you, I didn't even know they were $202. I was pretty surprised at that. And they're now 216, so I've made about $500 on them. And Kogan had Kogan. He reported, and so I bought Kogan down at like 550 or something. And he reported. His reporting was coming up about in 5 days' time, so I bought and rode it all the way up to like $7, made a killing. He reported on that morning. It shot up about 10%. My profit was about $3,000 on him. And then it just plummeted and and stopped me out for a loss. Oh
no! Why did it fall so much?
Well, it's so weird. On open, it just skyrocketed, and then for the rest of the day, it just fell away. So I have no idea. Maybe I don't know. I didn't look into it well enough, but it was weird because I was super pumped. I'm like, yes, made the right call. And then he ended up down like 6% on that day alone. So weird. But anyway, so my total position, Ren, is 53,072.
Wow, you're smashing me, mate.
And I have $4,600 in cash.
Okay.
So
game on.
So yeah, game on. But I feel like this is always the case. I'm a bit of you're the tortoise and probably have some long-term strategy and a lot more emotional stability than I do. And I'm feeling that the long term you're probably going to do better than I am. So I'm excited.
I would love to say that I did have a long-term strategy. I really don't, but I'll spend the next few days developing one.
Yeah, nice.
Now I'm chasing you.
Yeah, you've got $3,000 to go. But let's put it into perspective. So the winner of this whole thing at the moment is sitting on 63,341.
Wow.
Yeah, so they've made $13,500 in about 2 weeks. So that's pretty phenomenal turnaround.
So they've almost made 25% in a month.
Yeah,
That's
very well
unreal.
done.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see tomorrow, though, when they update the leaderboard, if these guys will still be on top, because there were 3 companies today after reporting who were all up over 20%. We had LTM Limited up 31%, WiseTech 27%, and TPG up 21%.
Wow.
Car sales 10%, and Bellamy's 9%. So if you happen to be in three of those, you're looking at a serious increase in your portfolio. So
Nice one. Well, that gives people a taste of our share market game, but it also gives them a taste of reporting season. We're rounding into the back half of it now. So if you haven't been paying attention, we'll definitely suggest having a look. This is the time that most Australian publicly listed companies will report for the full year. So it's generally a good time to sort of learn how the companies on your watch list are going.
the link that you put in our Thought Starters, Ren, maybe a month ago to the Commsec Reporting Calendar is really good. It gives you a list of all the major companies that are reporting each day. So that's what we're using. Well, I'm particularly using that to sort of look ahead to decide what potential buying opportunities, short-term buying opportunities there are. And also they do some really cool summaries, video summaries, and they'll do PDF summaries of the reports in quite digestible form so that you can really get your head around the key figures and metrics that these companies are reporting without having to delve into their annual reports and whatnot. So definitely worth checking out. That's the Commsec Reporting Calendar.
Yeah, nice. And also worth just signing up to Thought Starters so you don't miss the next cracking link that comes through.
Exactly. How do you sign up to Thought Starters, Ren?
Go to equitymates.com and it'll be on the front page.
Yeah, perfect. All right, Ren, well, we've probably hit our 15 minutes or less. So I think we'll call it there. And it was interesting to hear where you're up to. I wish you all the best, but I think I've got an uncatchable lead. So.
All right, we'll update everyone in 2 weeks and we'll see how we're going.
Yeah, can't wait. Hello, mates of Equity Mates. Or I guess that just makes you Equity Mates. Anyway, it's Bryce here. One of the most frequently asked questions we get is, where do we find information about all these stocks and where's a good place to start? Now, we could do a whole episode on this, and we often do touch on it, but the best place to start is by signing up to our Thought Starters weekly email. Each week, we send you some cool stuff that has caught our eye during the week, as well as some more detailed articles on stocks and invested-related content. We also include Basics 101. These are articles tailored specifically for beginners to really propel you on your way. We don't spam you. I mean, we hate spam. It's once a week, and there's enough stuff in there to occupy you for a full day of browsing at work. Now, Ren puts a lot of effort into finding quality articles for you guys, so if anything, just sign up so he feels the love. Head to equitymates.com and chuck in your email at the bottom of the page.
Equity Mates and the people appearing in this program may have positions in the companies mentioned. This is general advice only. Please speak to a financial professional to understand how it may pertain to your individual situation.